Greetings everyone and welcome to Murders at Karlov Manor draft. And I think I'm going to take the I'm going to first pick the rare. Uh, the Prophet's eidetic memory is quite good. You get a card back, but of course that's not worth paying 2 mana, but you will also get at least one additional counter on the same turn. And then any future turn where you also draw extra cards, you get more extra counters. That's pretty good for 2 mana. And the other rare is not first pick worthy. I like the Reckless Detective. I like the Torch the Witness. Novice Inspector, of course, a first pick quality card. Yeah, well, I'll still take the rare here. And what do I see here? Okay. Okay then. Nothing like too amazing. I could really go to many different directions here. You could take a bite down on a crime, you could take an extract confession or the cadaver, and even the crime novelist is something you could do. This early in the draft, you could then kind of put extra weight to cards that investigate. Should I do the blue-red thing? I don't think I have done blue-red on the channel. At least if I have done, not many times. Oh, maybe I get out cold back. The other option is to just take the extract the confession and then hope the curious cadaver comes back. But I have had a blue-black deck, so let's try with the novelist this time. Early novelist means I will be, picking cards that can give me clues. This pack hasn't got one though. I mean, one that's blue or red or colorless. So I'm not going to, of course, get married to these first picks, but I really want to play the eidetic memory, which makes me slightly, preferring this thing. I'm not sure if it's something I want to play pick as pack 1, pick 3, but this pack is maybe a little bit on the weak side. There's the Clandestine Meddler, which works in aggressive decks. I don't like the case of the Gorgon's Kiss, it's so hard to solve it. Which Whisperer hasn't impressed me too much. You could take this, but it's also pretty late pick. I'll take the Reasonable Doubt here. I don't like the Witukazi, the what's that? The land disguise thing. Mainly because you kind of want to play it as a land slot, but then again it's a land that produces colorless mana. So I'm not a fan of that. Now this pack has, well, it doesn't have clue generating, but it has good cards, including Case of the Gateway Express. I think this is just the best card in the pack. But maybe I'll try it with the blue-red now. I could take just the Exit Specialist too, but I really think that the Gadget Technician is a very strong one. This, by the way, says whenever you sacrifice an artifact, it does not have to be a clue if you have other means to sacrifice things. I don't know how many of them there are, but I'll take one of the technicians now. And here I can just take the deduce. Oh, there's an inside source here. There's also a tipster. Well, definitely red isn't open. Am I supposed to make a change to what I'm drafting? I could take the tipster or even the inside source, but since I did not take the white card from the previous pack where I had a good white option, maybe I won't be taking that, but I maybe could consider going blue-green, because I'm afraid that red isn't gonna be very open. But I like the deduce because of it's very good with the eidetic memory, and if I do play the novelist, it's great with that thing too. So, but mostly I'll take the deduce over the green 2-drop, because there's still a chance I can be red-blue, and of course deduce is just gonna be good with the eidetic memory. If I have a deck with this card, I want to play a deduce in that deck too. Now, I can take a good red card, and there are even 2 options. I wonder which is the one I want to have for this particular deck. The 1-mana haster or the... there's also the out cold, but I'm not taking that. It's either the person of interest or the scapegoat here. I don't know if I'm going to be that aggressive. I'm gonna take the person of interest. Okay, well, talking about red being open or not, There's an actual galvanized pick 7. What is this? Let's take that, and I will be blue right now, unless something very weird happens. And I can take the Crime Stopper Sprite, which I like more than the Burden of Proof. Do I have more any detectives? I have only 3 creatures, but does this thing does create a detective. But anyway, I'll take the Crime Stopper Sprite. It's a nice 3-drop. And here I can take a Suspicious Detonation, because this is actually the kind of deck that could in fact make this into a 2-mana spell. Alright, Felonious Rage versus Outfitter. I don't really think the Outfitter is that good, but do I need to Rage either here? Maybe, but I'm not sure. I'll take the uncommon. Maybe I want to sideboard into it if I find the friends for it. And Felonious Rage is a card that I can get in multiples late pick, so I'm taking this, but I'm not even gonna put it to the main deck right now. Burden of Proof can be picked now. I'm not sure if it's... Let's put it there for now, but we'll see. I want to play usually a number of... I play this in decks that have a number of detectives to have the option to have the +2/+2. Yeah, okay. If I went to green, I would be rewarded by the Axebane Ferox. But I didn't go... I did get rewarded by the Galvanize, though. Of course, Galvanize is nowhere near as powerful as this Ferox, but how could I have known? This could have been a red rare. Now, Exit Specialist, Concealed Weapon. It's going to be one of them. Yeah, this makes a clue, but I might get this, pick 9. I'll take the Specialist, because it is a 2-drop. Well, this is kind of 2, but it doesn't affect the board. But this I can play on turn 2 or then later and do the bounce thing. It's nice. And then we have well, there is a Blood Spatter Analysis. I'm not sure if I want to go for the splash. It's quite early in the draft. I might find some of the lands that help splashing, but I could just take the Chases on. It gives me an Investigate. It gives me a clue token with the Investigate ability, and I do care about clues here, so I think I'm gonna take that. I know I could just take an actual clue, but this will be coming to me at pick number 10. At least that's possible. And Expedited Inheritance. Okay, this is the actual symmetrical effect. It's really bad. You don't want to play this. Now, it is a mythic rare which I could take just for set completions reasons. I could also take this guy, because this does draw me a card, and it will trigger the Eidetic Memory, but I'm actually gonna be greedy now. I don't think this is a particularly good card, neither is this Bystander, so I'm taking this mythic rare for set completion purposes. I think there's like a very, very low chance that I would be actually sideboarding it in, but it is very unlikely. Here I think I'll take the Mistway Spy, because this can give me a clue over there, the Inspector here, and over the second detonation. And I can take another Mistway Spy here. What's this? Sack a creature, reveal card from the top. Okay, so probably not using a card for this. This doesn't net your card. You always have to sack things, and you have to spend a card for this ability. Anyway, let's take the Spy. So that's now a few ways to get clues. I would have liked actually to have more of those. Now, about this pack. Still this Extract a Confessions going late. I could just take the Brackard to have something, expensive here. I think that might be okay. The Analyst I don't like that much. Magnifying Glass, yes, it can create clues, but it's really slow, so let's just take the 5/5. I think it's a totally fine card to run, and I don't have anything expensive now, so I want to have some options at 5 mana. And what do we have here? Not much clue making. This has to be a bad card. 5 mana is too much for that effect. There is a Dramatic Accusation, there's an Unauthorized Exit. I'm not particularly interested in either of those. I'm just taking this 20 gems here. Okay, I got the Detective Satchel. Now that's a decent fun for this deck. Definitely taking it over the knife or the smuggler here. Yep. And this says sacrifice. No, it works only when you have sacrificed an artifact. Here I'm going to take the out cold. It has investigate on it. And I can now take a bubble smuggler. Now that was actually fine. The pack 2 wasn't too amazing, but it was a fine. The last few picks were actually quite fine given how late they were. I have definitely enough cards because there's an entire pack left. And okay, you could play the Flotsam, I suppose. I can cast both halves, of course, because I'm playing blue and I get the clue, but I think it's time to take the Inspector now. How many detectives do I have now? 5 out of 10, 50%. So this also triggers when other investigators enter or get turned face up. Let's take the Snoop. It's a card you could play without access to black if you have blue. That's also fine. Another mythic rare here. There's a deduce, but this is... You know, this is insanely good and it's also splashable. The sad thing is I didn't pick any of the lands that allow me to splash. But the other options here are the deduce, demand answers, offender at large. None of these is really something I absolutely need. So I'm going to take this for two reasons. First, not going to lie, I have 0 of these. I want to complete all the rarities. So I will take this for redrafting purposes. But the disguise cost is a single caster. So you can actually splash this. But I don't want to play like 7/7/3. I need lands that make the splash possible. And I could actually take the Lightning Helix here, but I won't be doing that because I will take the Torch the Witness. This can also give me a clue token, which a few of my cards care about. Maybe I would choose differently if I had already the splash lands so that I can play this for sure. But there's still a chance I won't be playing white. So I'm taking the Torch the Witness here. Connecting the dots, on the other hand, is quite good. It's better in some aggressive decks, and I have some clue generating, and maybe I don't need this kind of an effect. Maybe I should just take the fugitive courier. I actually think it's quite nice. Or I could take another inspector, because this inspector works better with the eidetic memory. This doesn't work with attack triggering draw a card. No, I think the inspector is better in this case. Okay, there's a scapegoat, but there's also cold case cracker, yeah. And an escape tunnel. Oh boy. Now this would allow me to consider this such a good card, but cold case cracker is nice, and I don't have to make my mana worse if I just cut the Aurelia. I would take the escape tunnel if there wasn't such a nice card. I need it for mana curve reasons too, I think. Maybe. Okay, I'm taking this. I'm not going to splash the Aurelia. And here I'm getting a Galvanized. That's really nice. I'm very happy about this pick. And it seems like I maybe wouldn't even get another land to help with the splash, because I don't think one escape tunnel is enough to make the mana reliable. Am I gonna need an unauthorized exit? I might have it as a sideboard option. It's good when the opponent has the control magic with the blue-black thing that steals a creature. You can bounce the creature back to your hand. It's a fine sideboard card in that sense. Okay, I'm happy about the red herring. That was the kind of 2-drop I was very much looking forward to getting, and I got it. That's great. And I got another red herring, which I will take over the witness. Alright, I think this deck now has enough clues to work with the clues narratives, which in the end wasn't that many, but I have some. And here I can take the offender. Oh, I could take this one too, but maybe I take a... Well, I don't know if I need a creature. I don't think I have space now for either of these, so I'm just taking the creature. Maybe I did this. Maybe I want to have access to a 5-drop. We can take the accusation also. And a few more cards. Okay, so all of these I could choose to take. I think I'll take another detonation at this point. Okay, final card. Another one of these. 32 cards, yeah. I'm actually glad I didn't take the escape tunnel. I'd rather have the cold case cracker because I think the minimum for this kind of a splash is to have 2 ways to fix your mana. 1 is not enough. Otherwise the mana will be too bad for the games when I don't draw my own wild card. So I'll cut that, and then I think I can cut the reasonable doubts, both of them. Burden of proof. I can still consider it. I have 8 out of 16 detectives here. But I think I'm going to cut the Fairy Snoop from the main deck. It's quite slow. It is a detective, but still. Sudden Setback. It's a decent card, but I got some, interaction in the end. Double Galvanize, double Detonation, and I think the Detonation in this deck is better than the Setback, because this has some decent chances to cost only 2. Now, usually, of course, the play pattern goes so that you use 2 mana to sack a clue, and then you can, of course, play this for 2. So you will have to use 4 total mana in order to cast this spell regardless, but at least you get this clue, in the, kind of a, in the end, the clue can come as a free addition with some of my cards, and then you can consider this being a 4 mana, draw a card and deal 4. That, of course, would be a card you would first pick happily. Now, and of course that comparison isn't exactly fair because the effects that give you a clue usually make the main part of the card a little bit weaker than it would be if it did not give you the clue. But still, a 4 mana 3/3 flyer that dies into a clue, I would be not too sad about running a 4 mana 3/3 flyer. It's a little bit too small for current days standards, but when it gives the clue, it's definitely a very good upside. Now, the Brackard, the Brackard always costs 5. The Offender can cost 5, but it has the option to be for a 3 mana spell. It is very hard to choose the Brackard over the Offender at large. I would have to be really interested in having this menace, thanks to suspecting it. So I'm going to cut the Brackard and I will play the Offender, which is castable if I'm lacking the 5 mana. And I think the Sudden Setback, while it's a good one, thanks to all the interaction I have in the deck, and this doesn't really, combine with my deck. This doesn't synergize, it's just a decent card. I can cut that. And then I could actually cut the Dramatic Accusation, because I have so much removal here now. Well, it's not like a ton of removal, but there's enough removal, so I can cut this from the main deck. I can always sideboard in more removal if I really want to. Now the Burden of Proof with 7 detectives. Now, of course, you have always the option to decrease the size of the opponent's, of one of your opponent's creatures, even if they are detectives. They will be 1/1. The +2/+2 applies only if I control the detective. So opposing detectives will be 1/1s. So I think this is fine, but I need to now make a decision about still some cuts, because this is not going to be a 15 land deck. It might be a 16 land deck because I have these red herrings and the eidetic memory as cheap ways to draw cards. So I can hit my 3rd land drop and so on. But I think the Burden of Proof might be cut. Let's see the creature curve in the meanwhile. So that is not a lot of stuff to do on turn 2. The Specialist and the Smuggler I just have to play as 2-drops quite often. Now, of course, I do have the Galvanizes, and the Thoughts the Witness also deals 2 damage with 2 mana. The problem with these, of course, is that the Galvanize is quite bad when you are, when you are on the draw. Well, I guess if you're on the draw and the opponent misses their 2-drop, it's kinda okay anyway. But if you have the Galvanize as your only 2 mana spell, you pass and they drop a 3rd land and play a Disguise creature, you can't actually use the Galvanize. That's the kind of a problem as counting this to be a 2-drop slot, two mana slot card, because it doesn't always. Even if the opponent, the thing is, the opponent can add a disguised creature to the board, so that you cannot use the Galvanize until you hit your 4th land. But it's not like I cut anything that's cheap. There are the reasonable doubts actually. I think I might have to sideboard this in, especially maybe in games where I have won the game 1 or game 2 and it goes to next game in the match, and I know I will be on the draw most likely because the opponent gets to choose to be on the play. So I might need these extra 2-drops, but here I will not play the Burden of Proof. It's also something I can choose to. Sideboard in if it seems like it's somehow good. I can make it like a Project Inspector into a 5/4 thanks to that. At instant speed, it's no joke. This will be a 4/4. This is actually a card I would like to run, but I mean, if I run it, I would have to cut something else. Even these things are detectives, so I could make them into 3/3s. But I really can't cut anything that costs 2, and I'm not going to cut the Deduce because it will synergize with the Crime Novelist and the Detectives Satchel, and also, of course, with the Eidetic Memory. There's actually a pretty good curve-out pattern of playing a turn 1 Mistway Spy and turn 2 Eidetic Memory. This will attack as a 2/2, and that's a good start to any game, of course. I'm playing this because of the Investigate. I'm playing the Out Cold because of the Investigate. I'm playing this because it's just a good card. I have also just 14 creatures, so I wouldn't be removing a creature and adding a non-creature spell in the deck. I think this is it. This is it for the main deck. I might sideboard in the Reasonable Doubts to have more action on turn 2, but this is the main deck. And it is only... I do realize this is only 16 lands, but I have some... Yeah, I have these looters too. This loot on ETB, because I have a fairly large number of 4 mana cards. The Cracker, the Out Cold, the Person of Interest, and the Satchel are all cards that require 4 lands. The Offender and the Technician can be a 3 mana spell, and the Suspicious Detonation will require also 4 mana, even if you have the Clue to Sack. But I think I can still play the 16 lands because of the cheap ways to draw extra cards. Alright, so how about the color balance? Well, that's exact cheese. So thanks to having no other lands, it's gonna be an 8/8 mana base, and any double casters making my life worse? No. The mana is fairly good with the 8/8 mana base, and that's the main deck. On the play with a decent hand, I think it's very rare that you don't want to play a turn 1/1 flyer on the play. I can even go with the 3 damage on turn 2 unless they have something like a shock for the herring. Oh, wait a second. I think I actually still prefer the damage in here. Now there's a chance though. No, is there a 2/3? Maybe some rare. It's quite... Oh, and even if there is, I can use this to make this into 3. Yeah, definitely prefer the damage here now over the extra counter immediately. Okay, another blue-red deck, unless they have more colors. Oh, they have an Eidetic Memory too, but nothing to target, so this is actually just fantastic now. I'm just going to give the counter to the flyer, because I might crack this for another counter on the next turn. I don't want to crow it. This is tough for the opponent to face. I have this one I can just play on the next turn, especially if yeah, they have just a disguise creature, so they might just trade here, which I would be fine with. Then I can play the Technician. Yeah, they can't just take the damage. Krogodelf. Now, I don't have anything currently to trigger this. Of course, I have 7 lands and 4 spells, which is not great. And if the opponent has removal, and I keep drawing, you know, these things. That's horrible, but it seems the opponent has exactly nothing, so I guess I won the game. Unless they're 5 mana. Okay, they have a third color, so we'll see what that's gonna be. I of course have a lot of time to get something good. Okay, just a 4-5 haster which they can't even attack with. And that's the game. No need to crack the clue because this is enough damage. Okay, well that was fast. The opponent really didn't do much. And I will be now on the draw. So does that mean I want to play a reasonable doubt? I think I liked playing at least one. And the card I care about the least, that's a difficult one because it's not going to be any of my 2s, because why would I sideboard in a 2-drop and then remove a 2-drop? The idea is to have something to do on turn 2. Now, I really like the person of interest. I really like it, but I'm afraid it might be the card I'm going to be cutting. It is such a good card though. Maybe the Offender at Large, while I'm on the draw. And play the 1 counter spell here. Okay, I'm gonna cut the 5 mana thing here. And that's that. I am on the draw, but I have a 2-drop here. Yes, this is totally fine. I can have a 2-3 and then something. Okay, that's another 2-drop option, which this is the kind of 2-drop that might make me force the sack on turn 3, but I think it's still worth it trying to do it. It's quite likely that turn 3 play will be a disguise creature, and this can of course attack into 1. If they have a 2-3, 3-3, something like that, well, tough luck. If they have just a removal spell here, I wouldn't actually care about it that much. Okay, they have a demand answer discarding a planes. Sure. So, do they have something that makes me sack this? Oh, actually I don't have to sack. This will tap. You know, don't forget about this thing. And wow, they have a Krenko. Do they want to attack? No. This thing taps always. Only the stun counter, you know, is depending on whether you play the collect the evidence or not. Anyhow, I don't want to risk anything because this will grow. If they have an artifact, they sack it. This is a goblin. It's a 4/4, and suddenly I might not be able to kill it. I know I can make this deal 5 if I draw a card, but it's just better to do it like this. Krenko is actually quite a good card. Just have any clues, and you can get a goblin token. It will also get the counter. This becomes a 4/4. You get a 2/2 basically if you sack a clue and pay. And you don't have to pay for the clue sack cost, of course. You just play for the 1 red for the goblin token. Anyway, I don't mind if they block, so I don't need to care about it. I do want to maybe play the Mistway Spy not tapped, but disguised. All this means I don't have a very good turn here. I know I could play the Crime Stopper Sprite here too. Maybe it's a flyer. Okay, let's actually play that because there's no really good way to use all my mana. Let's tap the 3/2 for extra damage still, and I'm not playing the 1/1 flyer. Of course, it would make very little sense because they have a 1/1 token to block with. Anyway. So there's the eidetic memory, but I have a bounce effect allowing me to reset counters, or maybe if they pump the 1/1 flyer, I even have the option to just get rid of it for good. Oh, they are gonna have a Kulota Rebirth. Interesting. So now, okay, I don't exactly want to bounce this guy. Not that I even can, actually, I would require 5 mana for that. I'm not a fan of the... I'm not a fan of the out cold here either. I can do so that I can sack the herring and then even consider playing the suspicious detonation on the technician. And if I draw land, maybe play a disguise creature instead. Well, I don't have to do the herring sacrifice right away. I can do it mid-combat. I think I will do that. And if they block, I will of course sack the herring. And now let's see if this is gonna be a land. It is a land, so I have a decision to make. I can use this for 2 mana. I suppose I could at this point play the spy as a 1/1 because they did sacrifice their one, and I have this 3 power in there instead of 2 power, and I have enough mana to use anyway, you know, so that this disguising and revealing part might not be that great. So let's kill this and play the flyer. I have the out cold here to tap down blockers anyway. This will bounce a blocker, or well, it will bounce any creature, but potentially a blocker. This can also return my own creatures if need be. So do they have a card draw effect for the eidetic memory to do its thing? Not yet. It has to be a card drawn before combat. Okay, no blocks. I'm not gonna trade with any of them. Alright, they get 3 clues now. That was great for them. Oh boy. It's also very good with the eidetic memory. And now... well, that was an unfortunate turn of events. I'm still in the game, of course. I'm gonna offer the trade here first. The spies at this point are only 1/1s. And now they might draw a bunch of cards, get a bunch of tokens. I think the correct way to do things here is this. And I will most likely use the bounce effect, but it's also possible I won't do that, and then I can use a deduce. We'll see how they, do the pre-combat stuff. This triggers at the beginning of combat on your turn, so if they want to crack those clues, they should be doing before attacking to get the counters from the eidetic memory. So this seems like a blue-red deck, which has a lot of planes. That's 3 planes already I've seen here, and the Karlov here, and I haven't really seen a lot of white cards. What is the splash such that they want to play 3 planes, and that's already 4 sources, even if they are the only ones in their deck? Well, I don't have to worry about that, but I have seen decent blue and red here. Okay, they at least use 2 mana for that. I don't think they have made a land drop yet, so they might still have access to 5 mana. This thing can't be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. That's not gonna come up often, but sometimes it might. Probably not against this color combination though. So 2 counters coming up from this thing and it has to target the same creature. Alright, so I'm going to just bounce that thing, I think. Okay, they choose to... Huh. Wow. I actually prefer deducing now. Because yes, I can bounce this, but what does it matter? They can still block with a 1/1 on my 2/1. So let's play deduce. And hope they don't have a spell on the Crime Stopper Sprite. That thing changes things. Now I can bounce it and attack with the red herring. That is worth it. Let's see if this resolves first. They might have a counter spell. And I can still have mana to sack the red herring. Now... and they actually can make that Fair enough. They had a fair flight. Well, that means I'm going to sack this guy. I can attack with a specialist, but it will only trade with 1-1. It does not make sense. So I'm going to sack this before they would block with that. I mean, I guess I always can attack in that situation. I have a loot here, a couple of loot effects, so I'm not gonna play the land. Even though the lands might be useful if I want to play multiple spells, but I'd rather be able to discard lands to looting effects. Yeah. So the sad thing is they got so many clues from the Mistway Spy that they actually have a lot of gas still left in here. And now they have an Alquist Prost, and which is horrible. That is their splash. No. That isn't their splash, they're actually playing a Novice Inspector as well. So I guess it's even 3 colors then. Well, they got it working in this game. In the first one they were stuck, not having access to the white mana. Alright, so this is of course horrible. I don't think the outcold is going to be good enough. I'm going now, regardless to this, I'm gonna have to use the detonation here. Just land. Because this is gonna gain them life and make them draw even more life. But I'm not going to win this race, am I? I'm not. This is too much to handle. If I was able to kill the 4-3, it would be nice, but I can't. So now I can only just maybe survive 1 turn. And I have to block this. This can be some huge thing, of course. They still have 3 clues for the eidetic memory. I think the turning point in this game was when they had the Mistway Spy with the Cooldoter Rebirth tokens getting 3 clues while at the same time having access to the Prophet's eidetic memory. Now they're gonna just get 2 extra counters at this point. Also I drew these lands which are pretty meaningless. Had I played my land drop on the prior turn, I actually would have now access to 4 mana. But I didn't. I had only that 1 land then. I just drew lands after that. I wanted to keep the option to loot a land away, because I have 2 creatures that give me a loot effect. So this 8 damage. Now I'm going to block the face down card. I'm not gonna block the face down card. They have another Mistway Spy. So more clues. Jump. I have to jump here. How do I win? I don't think I do necessarily, but I can deal 2 damage. And the Gadget Technician is good, and now I can play also the Out Cold now. I don't know if I want to. I mean, this is 6 damage. So if I can attack with these so that none of them will be blocked, and that's not gonna happen. I suppose I can draw a removal spell. And the problem is I cannot take all this damage through. So. And that's a flyer. Okay, that is just a 3-color deck. Well, they lost the game 1. Probably because they didn't have the planes until very late in the game. We'll see how that happens in game 3. This, of course, all these counters are from the eidetic memory, so if they didn't have this particular card, this would be just 1/1s. So, I mean, I'm losing to the big things thanks to these counters. So I need to draw a removal spell. I can also draw the +3/+0, so maybe I can afford to jump here. Maybe I can afford to jump. I have a +3/+0, and do I have any other way to... Do I have any other way to enhance the power of my creature? I think I sideboarded the 5-drop out, yeah. I don't think there is. So there's 1 +3/+0. I have more removal spells than that, so I think I have to keep... Hmm. So what I can do, if I let him attack... No, I have to tap the 4 power creatures. And then I can... No, I don't have to, because the tracker cannot... I have to draw removal of the tracker, yes. And I want them to... But they are not going to attack with the 1. No, the technician isn't going through. The only way for me to win is to get the +3/+0. Yeah, because neither of these will be attacking here. That's the thing. Alright, so I'm gonna have to tap the flyers. And then I need to still... Because I have this clue, I can still... well, I don't have to decide what to draw, I just see what I draw. There's nothing there, and I think I needed 2 outs here. So this will be stunned, of course. So I can attack here. Yeah, let's see how this goes. I think they should be blocking now with the tracker, which is fine. And then do this and somehow survive, right? I guess if I survive and this is... Yeah, I can survive. Now, of course, the problem is look at the amount of cards in their hand and the 2 clues. So I need them to not play anything that flies, anything that kills my cracker, anything that pumps their guys so that they win on this turn despite me blocking with the 1/1 and the 3/2. And then I have to draw the +3/+0 and first strike trick. It is very low chance to happen. If they were having a totally empty hand and just the 2 clues, I would like my chances better. But let's see what they have. They're looking at my graveyard for some reason. What's that card? Pool. Well, that's that. This will have haste and they will attack. And they will tap that and now they will attack enough to make it lethal. Isn't that right? They did not crack these clues to get additional counters. But yeah, that is true. I am taking exactly 4 actually. Oh, that's very close, you know. It's very close. This is exactly 4. Yeah. So I almost survived this attack, but I would have still needed to, you know, draw the one exact card from my deck and also for them to not have anything post-combat. Right. Well, I have removal for the Alquist. Yeah, I don't actually... And I have removal for the Krenko. I'm not actually afraid of their deck. But I have to pay attention to double Mistway Spy, and if they have these kind of rebirth or something, they might get a lot of clues. In the end, though, it wouldn't have mattered that much if they didn't get the counters also from this eidetic memory. So, with all that said and done, I don't think I want to play... Now, there's counterspell while I am on the play. I need to be the aggressor anyway, so I'd rather play cards that, you know, give me stuff. I'm actually thinking about the Burden of Proof or just putting the Offender at Large back to the deck. Their removal is mostly non-existent, I guess. Tapped creature will be killed. Yeah, I don't think this might... How many detectives? That is 7 detectives. I think I might play the Burden of Proof here. I'm gonna do that. And anything else? Felonious, Rage. I just like all the cards in here. I'm not going to be cutting any of this. So let's go with this. Play first. Sadly not a keep this time, even though I have to turn 1 spine. Only 1 land, of course. Has to be Mulligan. Oh. Let's go to 5 then. I don't have the eidetic memory here. I have to, of course, get rid of the island. Detective, detective. I wish this was a 6-card hand. I would like this as a 6-card hand. Because I have the ability to make this into a 4/3. That gives me some early damage. But the Inspector is just another creature I want to have. But I think the Inspector is going to be... I have to try to do the thing with the Specialist and then have the Galvanized to interact with their stuff. This is difficult. The mulliganing is nasty now. They got the fixing land again, so I guess they have their 3 colors online. That will be nice. If I draw the land, I might get some clues at least. Do they even have a 2-drop? Well, we will see. It might just be the card draw spell. But yeah, they have their 3 colors already. Yes, deduce. That's fine. Okay. I'm not dead. I am not dead. I will get 2 clues here. Hopefully. This does require blue to turn face up, so... If I draw an island, I have both burden of proof. Ah, correct. Well, galvanize. Oh, actually, that won't work, because they didn't go for the sacks there. I guess they want to do it. Okay, well, this is just fantastic. This is just fantastic for me. I even drew the blue there. Haha. So, let's do this before they untap and they can respond by sacking this. And now I am going to think I will get my clues immediately. I will deal 1 fewer damage, but so what? Maybe I get my eidetic memory now. Okay, that's a good card, but I have a... Okay, I can use my burden of proof here. Let's do this first. Oh, come on. Too many lands. Do they make the block? Yes, they do. Okay, if they have more flyers, they will have +1/+1. I do have the looters, but I think I can play all but 1 of my lands. I still have the clues. I might need a lot of mana. Maybe if I can get the 4 mana uncommon blue-red spell that gives me Thopters. I guess the Warrior's Call does make it so that the exit specialist will be, you know, harder to block. This is a 3 power creature, it can't be blocking here. That's a 2 power creature. That's so unfair. That's ridiculous that they had that. And I just keep drawing lands. Come on, give me some help, Jack. That is a good one though. Oh man, I was really hoping them not having a way to block this, but they do have now the Inspector. I really think if they didn't have the Inspector and they went to, you know, 8 here, I would be very happy about my chances. But now it's gonna be... All they need is a flyer to deal with the Mistface by auto removal spell that I haven't seen yet. Well, this was a mulligan to 5 and they had their 3 colors, no problem. This Inspector being so critical, this is actually amazing would be here. Oof. Well, I guess they don't really have an opportunity to attack because I have a... If they attack with the 3/3, okay, well... This is... they drew the nuts. That's insane. Yeah, 1 mana 3/2/2s that ping me for 3. After they already had this Inspector, so I couldn't even attack once with this. And this Cult of the Rebirth here, that was just totally ridiculous after all that. I'm thinking about the double block. Because I actually can't really have a good attack here. They have 5 blockers, so I'm gonna do this. This cannot block, of course, but... I mean, I'm losing on their next attack. That was the Granite Witness. The Deuce here. I don't know what could help. That's a good one, but it's not going to give me a lethal attack on the next turn. Maybe if I I lose if they have 2 creatures, because I can block only 4 power creature. I will go to 2. If they have 2 creatures, I will go to 0. Okay, but if they attack with everything, this is hard to block. Yeah, I have... Okay, well, let's see what happens. I don't have to pre-plan. I know exactly what I'm gonna do if I get my turn. But there's actually a chance in here. Now that's 1 creature. I'm down to... If they have 1 more creature, I'm dead. Freaking freak. If they see it, and they see it. That's exact. That's ridiculous. They had to have that. They needed every card from their hand. And I was almost winning with the eidetic memory. It was going to give me 2 +1/+1 counters on the spy. They would be going to 2. So, point being, let's say the final card in their hand wasn't, these also had to be 2 cheap creatures, 2 mana creature and a 3 mana creature, because all they had was 5 mana. So imagine if they had like the Guardian and then a 4 mana creature in their hand without the disguise. If they make this attack, I go to 1 and I win on the backswing, because this would not be... I guess they would leave another blocker then, but I could still draw a card that would allow me to enhance this guy more. This was so close despite me mulliganing to 5 and them having exactly perfect Cs. Not... I mean, the Cool Daughter Rebirth, while they have the War Leader's Call. And of course, perfect mana, 3 colors. They could play all the colors, no problem with that. Fine. Sorry about the rant in the end of the previous match, but you must feel the frustration I had there, because of all the circumstances. It was not just one thing going wrong. It was the mulligan to 5, them having perfect mana, and them having the perfect combination of cards when I almost could have still won. But this is a new match. Let's try to not get as unlucky in this one. Okay, that thing I will just block with my specialist. So they get a 1 mana 2/2 out of that deal. But nothing else. So this means they basically used the 3 mana for this thing, unless they have something on my turn. I will just, of course, play the only thing I can, which is the face down creature here, which I won't be blocking. I mean, we won't be using to block. And then I can play the interest person thing. The opponent, by the way, I think mulligan to 6 in here. I didn't even no. Okay, another felony threats. That's a lot of them. Well, it's a fine card in an aggressive deck for sure. They seem to be having something, but let's see what that is. Nothing yet, and I get my 2/2/2s, one of which has menace. Okay, so I have the option to turn this thing face up on the next turn. Do they have evidence? Yes, they do. So I can use out cold for that, I guess. How to do this all? If I use the out cold, they're gonna take a lot of damage and these won't untap. So I'm gonna do that right now. More demand answers. Okay, well, answers have been demanded. I guess they have food for this thing for quite a few turns, but... Okay, makes it that gonna eat the person of interest, and then I have Is this lethal? 5 plus 3 plus 2. I do think it is. It is exactly. No, they have. This gains 2 life. Always forget it. So I have 2 options now. I can deal 5 of them going to 7. Or I can deal, you know, so that they go to 2. If they don't have more life gain, I will be able to create a board state that allows me to. Yeah, this is the spot where I'm supposed to do this. As long as they don't have like a lightning helix or maybe another binding, I will be able to build up a board that allows me to attack into their stuff. Well, that's not life gain, but that's a really good one. Okay. So let's start with not the project inspector, but with this thing. I can only make 1 token a turn. Just gonna. So I have to sack artifact for this to work, right? I'm gonna do it right now. That's a good one. That's a very good one. I'll keep this maybe in the hand still just to have a looting thing. And they are top decking now. They did surveil too. What did they? I think 1 mountain went to. Okay, the watchdog is okay, but nothing too serious. This will enter tapped, of course. Oh, crime novelist. Well, that's a fantastic one to have. I think I can afford to do this. Okay, that's another land, so I'm going to do the inspector thing. Okay, that's a good one. And they are again top decking. They don't have a lethal attack. And on the next turn, I think I will just win. With my flyers alone. Okay, they get more blockers. At least they had a card that, you know, gives me perfect information. No, I don't win because they have the 3/1/1 flyers. I somehow thought they have still only 1 flyer here. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'll just need to have more board presence here. Okay, that's fine. I can play this post-combat. So I can... I'll still have this one for the inspector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Okay, they played a land. I'm actually happy about that. And did I have enough here? What? What did I have enough? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. Yes, I had exacties. But if they kept the land in their hand, it would have been a little bit riskier for me. But I think I would have still gone for it. Detonate a thing first. But yeah, this is now white-red. The Phoenix is something I would like to lock down with my... where is it? Dramatic Accusation. I will be on the draw, so I'm interested in 1 reasonable doubt. I think the Overlord at large will be cut, but I also need to cut another thing because I sideboard it in the Dramatic Accusation. I do like the person of interest, but something has to go here. And it's not a 2-drop. I need my 2-drops. I like my spice too much as well. maybe a detonation. There are like some cards I want to kill, but it's a lot of... I guess the watchdog. I'm gonna cut one detonation. I did, have this one other removal spell here. So I'll replace a detonation with this thing, just to be able to have a good answer on the Phoenix. That's that. Okay, my 2-color deck has some problems getting good mana. This is the classic 4 blue cards, 3 mountains. If one of these was an island, if like 2 of these were red cards, things would be different, but this is a mulligan. Alright, now I'm having a good hand, and I think here I can afford to lose an island here. I know I have the satchel here, but I still think it's better to have other spells, and I can just draw lands. Do they have the herring? No. Okay, that's something I need to probably galvanize. I'm gonna do this post combat because I'd rather try to block that thing. Well, that's that. They don't get to solve it right now. Okay, I'm gonna use this right now. I don't want to take any extra damage, and this is something I need to get rid of anyway because it really hurts my sacrificing of treasures. No clues. And I wanted to kill it before they get to untap. Now I have the slow turn unless I draw a creature I'd rather play. Well, I did draw a creature, so I'm not going to have such a slow turn. Yeah, I think this is better now. Okay, so there's the 5th land, making the block very risky. It can be a double striker. It can be a 5/4. It can be the white one is a 4/3 flyer, so I could block that thing. But am I gonna sacrifice? I mean, I can make them lose tempo. If it's the 3/2 that dies into a 2/2, I think that's fine. I'm going to take the risk that if this is I guess the worst thing is if it is the 5/4. If it is the 5/4, then I should double block. If on the other hand it is the double striker, I should not double block. If it is a 3/2, yeah, I'm gonna do this, and the worst outcome is that they have the 5/4. Okay, that's a familiar. Oh, but that's not great. That was always going to happen though. But yeah, it's not nice that they get to recast that thing. They have a rage there, sure. Well, that's that then. Do they have a 2-drop as well? No, they did not. Crime Novelist will be on the next turn on the menu. I'm gonna play my satchel now. I can make the Novelist into a 4 toughness creature on the next turn. Although that only works if I draw a land, because I need to play this before. Yeah, this gives me the mana, but this has to be on the battlefield. That's not great. It's gonna give them the solution for this case. I don't like this at all. Well, the herring isn't the worst, I guess. I will be, of course, attacking here, but I'm just thinking about the attack with the other guy. I think I will stem the bleeding. Because I will have 2 Thopters now. Just in case. Yeah, I'm gonna lose one counter here, but it's just gonna happen. If I have a land drop, do I want to play it immediately? I don't think it's gonna matter that much. They will solve this case. There's nothing much to do about that. Okay, they sack one of the guys to draw 2. Makes sense, of course. And there's the Phoenix. I need an answer for that thing too. Yeah, this is a tough game to beat. So actually they don't get to solve this because they can't cast it. Right. Well, you know, I'm gonna sack this right now to get a token. I really need the thing that is going to tap this and lock it down. You know, to the rescue. Does this? Ha! Target creature an opponent controls. They cannot actually burn their own Phoenix with it. That was a good draw. Now, do I have mana to do everything? I don't have mana to do everything. Well, I suppose I'm gonna do this right now and just not do anything else. Because I want to now grow the crime novelist with the clues. So I'm going to take just 2 damage in here. Well, that's a good one. I'm gonna get red mana when I sack a clue. They might have a galvanize here, of course. Okay, that's not the worst. Nothing now. I think I'm going to take the 2 because I don't want them to attack into the novelist and have a trick or just to use the case of the burning masks. This will give me additional mana still and becomes also a 3/5. I can take 2 here. Due diligence. Well, I can kill that thing. I can kill that thing with the Torch the Witness, but I also with Galvanize by sacrificing. There's a lot of options. I'm taking the damage. It's a little risky, but I'm gonna have to take some risks here regardless. This doesn't burn face, it's only a creature I control. Okay, so let's start with... I guess I'm gonna get red mana here anyway, but I will have 2 islands up. Okay, let's start with this. And now I could just lock it down. I mean, I can't do it regardless. This is gonna deal now 5. Well, let's try if that works. It does seem to work, so let's do this attack. Maybe they can untap this with some kind of a trick, and I was supposed to. Okay, just on demand transfers. Discarding the case of the... Okay, that's not... I mean, they didn't discard a land. But I guess this doesn't do too much here. Now, I'm gonna just play the sprite here. Because it will add to my clock. And that's gonna be important. Now, they will be using the case of the burning thing, but I guess they're gonna always use it on something. I could have locked this down for some reason, but I mean, I don't think it's gonna matter because it's gonna just... Yeah, I guess I could have used... I don't know if there are some untapping effects or not. Because if I put a stun counter on it, it actually won't lose stun counters for as long as the dramatic accusation is here. Wow, how many demand answers there can be? A lot. Alright, so no clues to sacrifice. Unless I use a Torch the Witness, and there's no reason to do that. Unless I do the chases on, but I think I'm not gonna do that right now. I'll just play the Person of Interest, and I'm going to... maybe just play the land. I can respond by... if I need to, I can shuffle this thing to their deck. Person of Interest, okay. That's only one blocker, the other one is suspected. And do they tap out? Because I will have... well, they... kinda... is there any way for me to sack my things now? So they go to 10, that's sad. That is a little sad. I could shuffle this, but then they might redraw it, and I don't want that to happen. Okay, well there... I played the land, and there's the loot effect now. Anyway, I'll just... if I put x equals 2, I'm gonna deal 4 damage, right? Twice x, and I will get to investigate in that case. So... this can block, so let's kill that guy. And I'm going to... how important is it to have this shuffle ability up? I guess I can draw a... fine, I'm gonna keep it up. Okay. I am not going to play the... or maybe I should. I mean, it's gonna be a 3-2. Yeah, it's gonna add to the board. Or is there a situation that I need to actually play around the rat effect? I do have the chases on, so I mean I have so many attackers that one of them will go through and I will be able to finish the opponent. Okay, I'm gonna play around the rat effect, so I'm not going to overextend. And also I can shuffle this in response to a rat. Okay, that can be a number of things, of course. Okay, they don't... the Person of Interest is not able to block, so they should have attacked with it, unless they hope I don't realize that. They have no hand, but this could be something. Let's start with this. I mean, they have 3 mana to turn this face up. But I think the chase is on, which will be lethal now, because whatever this is, they have to turn it face up before I have to use the chases on, and I will have a... guaranteed lethal here. They never got to solve this because they kind of traded away their 1/1 tokens from the bother. Essence of Antiquity. Untap creatures you control. Creatures you control gain hexproof until end of that was unexpected, but hey. I'm glad I played the land before combat. I wanted to actually keep this shuffle ability up while having mana for the chases on. So this would untap, because it doesn't have the stun counter that I could have given to it. But this is of course... there's no life... this can't block, and this is... so this is lethal because this has menace. Yeah, I don't have to use the chases on here. That is lethal damage. Because either they double block this and take 5, or they don't double block the 2-2 and they block, you know, the 2-2 here, and these don't even have reach. They will always take 5 here. Alright, that's that. I'm on the draw with a 6-lander. I have had some annoying hands in this event. Well, I'm not keeping a 6-lander. This is fine. It's always annoying to lose a card, especially in this case when, you know, I have this looting ability. So extra lands would be nice to ditch and all that, but I don't have a fast start, so I do believe the out cold is the least important one here. Okay. Well, this gives me clues, but it also slows my progress. If they have the 1-3 reach, that would be annoying to play it right now. But this will also deal a bunch of damage. If I didn't have the Inspector, I think I would not play this, but since I do have a turn 3 play here, and this has a chance to deal 2 to 3 damage, that's a good 2-drop, but it is at least not the one that could block this. So, but they will get accelerated, and they are on the play also. They can play a 4-mana thing, or if they play a disguise thing, this will be a 2-2 and at the end of turn. Yeah, that's not very cool for me. So you don't have to loot with this, you can loot. I'm thinking about the exit specialist here though, mostly because I'm not going to block this guy anyway. They will make it a 4-4 if I have a 3-2 here. So I think I can get the bounce guy ready. And then, you know, next turn probably just play the person of interest, and then maybe I have an extra land by that, so I can loot it away. Okay, that's nasty if they have any face down guys, and of course they're gonna play one. Ooh. So this is gonna get a counter, this is gonna get a counter and give a counter to that guy once they untap it. Okay, well this is a good card at least. And I can bounce a thing. Let's start with this though. I will give a counter to the, probably to the face. No, it would be nice to give it to the spy. Oh, the sentry has flying. I'm in reach. Forget about it. So this is going to be that. And I wonder if I'm supposed to just supposed to wait and see. They will at least reveal this, and then I can choose what to do. But this will be a 2-4. I know I can just deal with it using the detonation. So that's a Rift Burst Hellion, which I'm gonna bounce now, and then if I just could draw a land. So that I can kill this thing, because I don't have a clue to sack. And I did draw it. And this can't be blocked by the eavesdropper. Now this thing does have reach. But maybe I can get something else in the meanwhile. If they don't have a mountain, they have to actually play it face down. And you know, that's pretty funny with the exit specialist. Because this will get a counter and no longer can block the specialist. Another sentry though. What is this double sentry deck? And this sentry can block the specialist, but I can also give it. I can give it the specialist a counter. This can of course block as well, but I mean, can't even attack with this. No matter what, this is gonna be what I'm playing here. And because this will give me the eidetic memory. More things. So I actually think that the rogue here is the least important one. This gives me extra counters. I will actually get a lot of counters now. What, 3? I think that's 3. Well, the satchel is good because it gives me more card draw for the memory, but the galvanize is really good as well. Should I kind of spread it? I can't distribute the counters. It's one. It's one creature that gets all the counters, and I have now drawn 3 extra cards, which means it will be. This can become a 4/4, or this can become a 7/6. But then they could actually jump block it if they have removal. I think it's better to. Yeah, the real question here is: am I supposed to play Galvanize? And I think I'm supposed to not have Galvanize up, and the satchel is gonna be the better one. So this thing has reach, so it can always block the Mistway Spy. That is something actually I should realize. If this is a 4/4, it's not gonna help at all. So let's put these counters in here. They're gonna go for the jump. What? What? They had exactly 1 mana left. It was the got a leg up, which was exactly enough. I am cursed in this event. I was never gonna play around the get a leg up. And they had exactly the 1 mana from the tipster, and of course they play Killer Among Us, means that I'm going to lose in 2 attacks now. Also. Well, maybe they're not attacking now, but I mean my attacks are gone. They still have a reach guy here, this is gonna be a reach guy here. Yeah, game is disappointingly over now. I'm just doing this. I'm no longer gonna care. I'm not gonna do any math here. They block how they block. And the match 1, especially the game 3 in that, and now this. I mean, you can't win them all, but I do think that the pretty specific things have to have happened for me to be in such a miserable shape here. I guess I could have played the island now because I lost both my looters here. I lost my focus. So that will be a 5/5 death toucher this turn. Oh, I mean, they still have this one. Either of these is gonna pick up the counters. Yeah, okay. That's gonna be the 4/4. I have no win here, but I guess I have to see what I draw. I have the clue here, but this thing has reach. There's no way for me to deal. Is this like almost dead now? So can't attack into that guy. I didn't draw any way to interact. Yeah, I can play this and then do some blocks here. Oh, I will get one counter here. There's no one card that is going to allow me to win through this, but I don't know, maybe I just have to somehow try. Let's put a counter here. I mean, if this guy didn't have reach on top of what it does, I could have at least attack in the air for a little bit here. But okay, just have them all. Okay. So now both they said goblin. I cannot not block here. So I do have to do this, and then the turn when they had the get a leg up. Now that said, even if they didn't have that, they had a ton of 1/1s here to block my things. You know, my one thing that's kind of unblockable. They would have had a lot of 1/1s to block the specialist. I don't really know if there's much I can do. Maybe I can play another braggart. I'm gonna play another big thing here just to maybe push through a little bit better. And a felonious rage I might need to deal with something, or the accusation. I don't know. This is really not easy. I'm going to cut the person of interest here, and I will be cutting maybe. The crime novelist is too slow here. That's that. Oh, come on. So if I draw a land, I can play these things face down. I think I'm gonna do it because I have the galvanize for the 1/3 reach guys. And I don't want to be mulliganing all the time here. I need to get a little bit lucky here now. That's not it. It is a good card here though. That could allow me to win some games. Okay, there's a whale. I'm not going to use a galvanize on that guy, so I'll pass the turn. How many do they keep? There's not much information to be gained. I guess if they mill lands, that means they have enough lands in their hand. And if they mill good spells, that means they don't have enough lands, but they kept everything on top. What's this color? Anyway, the land is really important here. And I will start with the sprite here. Because I didn't see a mountain. I guess they do have the 6/7 reach guy that can be cast with red mana. But if they play a 1/3 now, I could use the galvanize, but they did not do that. I'm happy about this, this fourth land, because it allows me now to play the technician or the cracker, and the cracker is more important. I can now actually race in the air, especially with the outcold and the galvanize and all the other stuff. Yeah, I like my chances a lot now. I'm not blocking here because I want to have my 3 power flyer. I'm not willing to trade this into a trick. This is how I can win here. Remember, the outcold cannot be countered, so that's good against ward creatures. I'll just play the technician here, most likely, but we'll see if they have something that... and gains reach. So am I willing to lose my sprite? I'm willing to lose my sprite or trade with the cracker. Oh, they do that. It's fine. another 1/1 flyer here. And if I play the offender at large, it can give me +2/+0 on one of the flyers. And I still have this removal for the reach things. Okay, they are dealing with my flyers. That is not nice. But I guess I can attack with the red herring now. Okay, no blocks there. I'm going to be the aggressor. Do I want to... No, I'm going to keep mana up for the galvanize just in case. Just in case, and okay, why would they block the 2/2 but not the 3/2? There's gotta be a reason for that. So I'm gonna keep the galvanize up. I can't kill this guy, but I can also always sack the clue. The only reason to sack the clue is that if I draw a land and then I draw a land on the next turn too, but I don't actually need 6 mana on the next turn. So they're down to this number of things. Now this might be the reach thing, but I can kill the reach guy at 6/7. I can kill it with the Torch the Witness if I have 1 more mana. Or I can lock it down with this thing. Okay, they are doing that. I cannot kill it with Galvanize in response, sadly, because it has ward. So they just killed all my things. Okay. That's fair. Well, it's not fair, but that's what happened. And another disguised creature, I believe. Yep. Well, that's a shame. I thought I can clock them, but just not so easy here. I'm gonna play this and deal 3, but of course the problem here starts to be at that. I might take a lot of damage, but without cold, I can maybe still... survive here. Well, I'm definitely surviving, but I can, you know, win also, not only survive. Okay, that's now going to be pretty much all in with the 1 card. I guess I don't have to attack with the 1/1, but okay, well there is the green rare. Nah, I'm gonna go for a maximum damage, because they might still kill the offender at large, and I might need to do all the damage I can with my flyer here. So I'm gonna play this, and I don't have mana for anything else. I guess I could actually bounce the Hellion here. This could be, though, yeah, not gonna risk it. This could be the double strike trampler. And then even if I block this, I would die. They also might have a airtight alibi, but... well, they did not. Good. So now I have, of course, ways to deal with blockers. They have only 2 cards. Sentry, and is there gonna be another creature? Actually, I wouldn't mind, because I can deal with 2 creatures. Okay, this is great. I can deal with 2 creatures here. Galvanize. Now they don't have untapped mana in here. And this with X equals 2, it will deal 4. And they even didn't want to see if that's gonna happen. I guess they were still losing, because now they are forced, even if I did not have this removal spell, they are forced to jump block, and these guys won't be untapping. So, and they were top decking, but I guess they had the clue, so they maybe could have seen. what happens? Alright. Being on the draw, does that change things? Like burden of proof could be useful against some of the stuff they have. I want to be even more proactive here. So what is the kind of weakest stuff I have? I suppose the deduce is really not the greatest. I don't know if I like the bubble smuggler either, but by the time this becomes a 6-5, they're gonna have big things too. I'm actually gonna cut the bubble smuggler and the deduce. I'm going to play the burden of proof. I still have 7 detectives in here, and I'm gonna have, because I will be on the draw, a reasonable doubt. I think the dramatic accusation could be played, but I don't like it too much because I saw them. Was it in the previous game? No, not here. The Vengeful Creeper. I need to be getting a little lucky here because they are having a good deck. The detonation feels like it's something I need still. Yeah, this is gonna be it. Okay, at least I can keep this hand. And sadly I don't have my galvanizers now, so if they do have the 1-3 reach guy, and I know they have at least 2 of them, it's annoying, but I guess I have to try to win quickly. When they start doing their disguise things, I'm not going to win the game unless I... Okay, that's fine. They're missing one of their colors maybe. Yeah, I need to deal a bunch of damage before their disguise creatures come online, and then I can use stuff like the out cold here. Okay, Strider here, annoying, but okay. So now that I do actually care about the reasonable doubt here, but I'm not going to play it on this turn. I think I'm going to discard the other red herring here. Yeah. The reasonable doubt can still be useful here. It's early enough in the game. Alright, the Felonious Rage isn't the worst. They will double block the Inspector here most likely. They only single block it, that's interesting. I also didn't expect them to do this particular thing, but this is fine. And wow, why wouldn't they double block there? They were scared of some kind of trick. They probably need the mana from that thing. Anyway, I'm going to loot here. I can always discard the looted card, and I think I will have the counter spell now up. And I liked all the other stuff. I can ditch an island at this point. Yo, Yarus. Wow. Let's have this become suspected. I'm pretty happy I was able to counter it. If they had one more mana, it would have been bad. Okay, that's a 2-4, but it cannot block this by alone. So that's the good news. And I can have now... I think I'll just... This doesn't have reach. I know I can bounce this at some point, but not on this turn. I need total of 5 mana. So let's attack for 3 now, because it's not like the 2-2 was gonna attack past a 1-3 either. And now I can have this. And the out cold will be relevant. That is definitely annoying, but it's actually also... I can bounce the thing that's gonna become large. Yeah. And they are top decking. They do have a clue though. But I have a couple of clues and I will have 1/1s coming up here. I think I'm taking the 4 here because I'd rather have a 1/1. Oh, well, I'm not taking 4. Maybe they have a trick of... Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna do this and this, and of course I will bounce the one that's gonna become large, and I get a free kill on the other one. If I'm very lucky, this is gonna become a 4/4, but we'll see. And that also allows me to loot, but I want to keep the out cold. There's no card I want to rather keep than the out cold, so I'm gonna decline the loot because I don't think there's point discarding whatever I draw here. Just a tipster. I can attack with this, but it will trade with the tipster. I guess this could be also... Well, what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna do this and then decide on the out cold. Well, things will change now. I will rather play this. Let's not forget to do this one either. The same story goes here. I'm kind of wasting these loots, but I need to make those creatures happen. So now the out cold will be quite good. And they are flooding slightly. Alright, so I'm going to... Yeah, I'm gonna make them block with the tipster instead, so let's do like this. If they want to block. The tipster can grow, but I think they will block the exit specialist here. Because this is too much damage otherwise. That's 5, 10, 11 damage, so they have to stem the bleeding. And these won't untap right now. I guess I still got to loot a couple of times, so let's keep both mountains here. Just no mass removal, please. That's no mass removal. They can draw a cheap card here. So let's see if... Okay, and that's that. Alright. It was a difficult event, but I got the I got the 2 match wins here. Anyway. I didn't get to use my first pick too much, but I played against it also quite a bit. The match 1 was... that was horrible, but sometimes it seems like everything goes well, but the opponent just has the exact Cs. And well, everything didn't go well there either, because I had to mulligan to 5 in the final game. But I'm happy I at least got to remedy the situation by getting the 2-0 after the first loss. But this third match, opponent was really tough. They had a very good deck, but I needed to get a little lucky in the final game so that they drew a few extra lands there, and then I had board to contest their stuff. And the out cold, I like this quite a bit in this kind of deck that has flying attackers, or those hasters. You can really turn a race with the out cold to your advantage. But yep, that's that. Let's claim here the 2-winner prize, and I will be seeing you in the next video. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.